And we're live.
All right, welcome back, fellow TFFL owners, to another TFFL webcast, a special edition webcast as we look at our Final Four, down to four teams in the TFFL playoffs here in 2016. We've got two of them on the panel tonight facing off, and next week we'll be back talking about the Pac Bowl. First, quick introductions. I'm Stick, managing editor of TFFL Media, joined, as always, alone tonight, just our panel, our commissioner, Chief, skipper of the Sponge Fishermen.
Hey, Stick.
Hank, czar and CEO of the number one seeded K-Wheels.
Good evening, Stick. Happy to be here and be in the mix. Let's go, K-Wheels.
Berto, our three-time defending champion, Jack's Giant Killers, and the number 6 seed. But one of the Final Four playing the K-Wheels this week. Welcome, Berto.
Hey, Stick.
All right, so real quick, we're not going to look back too much. We got really two big things on the agenda, two games to talk about. But congratulations to Jack's Giant Killers, and congratulations to the Lizards. First round playoff victories. Moving on, well done.
Thank you.
As we talked about briefly before coming on air, Berto has 3 good quarterbacks. He made the right decision with Matt Ryan, and that was the difference in this game. So Berto's got the right touch. He's had it for many years, and he keeps showing it again this year. Hopefully, for all of us, not heading toward a 4th straight title.
I hope he does. Berto, win a 4th. Why not?
Thank you, Chief.
If it's not me, I don't really care.
All right. There we go. All right, I got one supporter. That's nice.
You found your Chris Christie.
You and Christy.
I'll take whatever I can get.
And again, we didn't talk about them much last week. We will talk about them now this week. Congratulations to our conference champions, the K-Wheels, the Hormel Hams. They earned that bye, a very important bye, as it turned out, for both of them. Very well could have lost both of those games if they were playing, but they've earned this, and so now they're in the Final Four as well. So let's get right to it. Again, I did promise you a trivia question. Let's get that out. I know Hank's got updated scores. You can chew on the trivia question while we talk about our 2 playoff games. So we're going to talk a lot about the Giant Killers. Again, they deserve it. 3 straight titles, a nice first-round playoff win in 2016. 3 times in the past 5 seasons, they have averaged over 70 points per game. Averaged over 70 points per game. This year's Giant Killers team is a little different. How many times have they even hit the 70-point mark in the first 14 weeks of the season? I'll give you a point if you're within 1 of the correct answer. How many times have the Giant Killers scored 70 or more? Don't go peeking at the schedule on the site. In 2016. All right, let's keep talking about the Giant Killers. Giant Killers, K-Wheels, number 1 seed versus number 6 seed. One of our 2 semifinal games we'll be talking about here. K-Wheels are going to get 3 home field advantage points. That didn't really help the Aliens, but here you go, Hank. Hank's got it teed up for us.
There we go. There is our schedule. This is the headlines. Here we are. We got it teed up this week. K-Wheels, Giant Killers, Hams, Lizards. Here we go.
Hey, it's I was about to say, I think that's the 2nd year in a row where both wild card teams advanced, but I actually think that was 2 years ago. I think last year division winners held serve.
So Hank is casting himself as an early underdog. The website sort of confirms that. I think they've got the Giant Killers as an 8-point favorite. At first glance, I would disagree. I think this is going to be a really close game. Lots to talk about here. I think Julio Jones is at the top of the agenda. Mm-hmm. How confident are you?
Yeah, I mean, Julio Jones playing is a big piece of this. I mean, if he offsets Ryan in a big way, if he can have a Julio-like game, he could really impact things. So, I hope he plays.
plays at a Julio Jones type level.
Yeah, given.
I mean, you need
75% of that would be okay.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing you don't want to have happen is he plays, but he's not really playing. He's in and out. He's a decoy. That would not be good for you. But
yeah, but he hasn't really done that. I feel
honestly, from a Falcon standpoint, if he's at all banged up after what they just did on the Rams without Julio and putting up 42 points, and granted some of that was their own undoing, but if he's at all unhealthy, they should just stash him because they're going to beat this team no matter what, especially in Atlanta. And if they're smart with a playoff run, why risk it with him? But that doesn't help you from a fantasy perspective, but that's really what they should do.
Well, and if they do that, I hope they just make the decision and make it clear and just say we're benching him. And so then I play somebody else, and we'll see. Man, I'd love him to be healthy.
Well, and just checking here because this is a time of year where weather can be the great equalizer here, and it's going to point where it's cold. They're calling for snow in lots of parts of the country. There's not a lot going on in this matchup. Quarterbacks playing in California and Georgia. Sterling Shepard's at home, so maybe that can affect things a little bit. Pierre Garcon's at home. I don't even know if he's going to play. So it looks like for the most part, we have about as good a weather as we can hope for, as far as getting the best out of the players that are going to be in the lineup.
The element of the 3 Seattle players, Roberto, playing on Thursday night, I think is interesting. It's going to be cold-ish in Seattle, like, 32, 34, something like that. And he's got 3 guys going for Seattle, and I would love to see cold, frigid temperatures and Green Bay get up early and stifle the chance for Seattle to run, and who knows?
I may take Hauschka out, so that may happen. Sturgis may play, but
that's interesting.
But what I said before we got on the webcast, or before we went live, Seattle averages 28 at home and 14 on the road. I think they should pound them. They should pound the Rams. So, I'm expecting big things out of Rawls and Baldwin, or at least one of them.
That'll be a tone setter. We'll see how much I'm chasing come Sunday kickoff time. How much I'm behind. I right now have Kenny Britt in the lineup, so he would be somebody to offset it a little bit. Hopefully if he could do something. But 3 big pieces for Berto on Thursday night.
Hey, Stick, it's funny you ask questions about the scores about my team, which I actually may get wrong because I went back and looked at the last 7 weeks. I go back and look before that. But back 7 weeks, I'm averaging 65 points. The K-Wheels are averaging 60, which
I mean,
that's a pretty good spread over the last 7 weeks.
Why'd you stop at 7?
I don't know.
Kind of a random endpoint.
Well, it's an indicator of how the team's been playing lately. And look, I definitely know that
getting lazy, but
my team hasn't been firing on all cylinders. I'd love to see it, unleash as it could, and hopefully it will. We'll see.
I'm taking besides. So Terrence West and Brandon Marshall will be out of the lineup, I believe, as well for me.
Okay.
They're going to be on the bench.
Yep.
So whether that's Garcon or Gillislee, we'll see what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I saw you had Gillislee in there. That's interesting. That's pulling it. I got a Devontae Booker question. I'm not sure about Booker. I mean, he did nothing last week, but I don't really have another good option. So
your option is Gary Barnidge at running back.
Yep.
Gillislee is in because they're playing the Browns, and he's really the goal line back now. So
yeah, I'm considering Robert Woods at wide receiver just because they're playing the Browns.
Yep.
Well, Hank, you say you don't have any better options as Booker. I'm not sure that Broncos do either. I mean, I know they signed Forsett and he got some carries last week, but I don't think he's going to be able to carry, a full load for the Broncos.
I don't know. Booker's in.
Been sitting on his couch for most of the season.
Yeah, he's in the lineup right now. Let's hope he gets a touchdown and meaningful yardage and big piece in knocking Berto down.
Against New England, that'll be a good game.
Yeah, could be. Big AFC positioning game.
So, Hank, I told you my concern with Britt. Again, I've made clear I'm a matchups guy. He's playing Seattle. That scares me a little bit for you. But I think the thing to root for Thursday night games are usually relatively low scoring. With a rookie quarterback playing for the Rams, the thing to root for is a couple Seattle defensive touchdowns, keeping Rawls and keeping Baldwin and Hauschka off the field.
That's true.
And that might just happen.
I would shoot for that. Absolutely. Let's sign up for that right now.
Hopefully a few interceptions return to the 1 yard line.
That would be less ideal, obviously.
Oh, the other thing too, over-unders. Atlanta, San Francisco is tied for the highest over-under at 51, along with the Washington-Carolina game. Implied Atlanta total is 32 points, which I think is higher than anyone else, so that's good news.
The Oakland-San Diego game can't be too far behind. They're going to put up some points.
Yeah.
I didn't see what that over-under was, but I'm sure that's high too. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, my matchups last week were horrible, and I am really lucky I didn't have to play last week because I had nothing going. But, Booker in New England is not great, but the rest of it isn't that bad. We can get some points out of this lineup. And
if Derek Carr doesn't get you 3 touchdowns, I think you're in trouble.
I do too. Derek Carr has to lead. I need to get a big number, 20 plus out of Carr. And if I can get that, and I get what I've been getting out of Murray and Douglas, and they put up a touchdown and some yards.
And Kenny Britt tomorrow night. I mean,
he's been scoring. Kenny Britt has been a good third receiver for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just playing Seattle on Thursday night. Yep.
So maybe so Kenny Britt is I could swap him out and put in Robert Woods. I mean, Michael Floyd no longer an option. That great DUI gone, done.
When's the last time he's been in your lineup anyway?
Yeah,
several weeks ago.
Okay.
Terrible trade.
Yep, terrible trade. Didn't help me at all. I got Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones, he was great early. He has not scored lately. And, Detroit has been good. They got a tough game in New York. I already got Shepard in that game.
Yeah, when you look at the game logs on Marvin Jones and Kenny Britt, it's a pretty clear choice. I mean, Britt has been productive. Marvin Jones has not.
No, he really hasn't. And so it's tough, and he hasn't scored a touchdown since week 6.
Yep. All right, let's move.
Who's the one player that will go nuts on either team? That's going to swing the quarterbacks and the one player who's going to score, 18 points. Somebody puts up a big number like that, because this game is going to be, high 50s maybe.
All right, that's a game I can win, Berto. I can win that. If
that's a game either one of you can
get a big number, I could be in trouble. But if this game's in the high 50s, I can beat you.
Yep.
And damn it, I will. Let's go, K-Wheels.
All right, and that is a good segue to our other game, Hormel Hams and Lizards. Hams getting +3 here to start this off. This game probably will be much more high scoring. With all respect to the K-Wheels as our number 1 seed, I think most people are looking at the Hams as the favorites entering the playoffs. The Lizards have posted some big point totals recently. Certainly got a lot of firepower at quarterback, at receiver. Is anybody here thinking there's an upset? It wouldn't be a huge upset. The Lizards can score points, but who doesn't think the Hams are going to move on to the Pac Bowl?
Well, I think the Hams will definitely move on to the Pac Bowl, but I think Lizards have a chance here. I mean, the Hams have David Johnson, Tevin Coleman, and Bilal Powell as the running backs. I think injuries and effectiveness have hurt some of their depth. Ryan Matthews, I think they said was coming back, but he hasn't been very good. Capri Bibbs is now out. And I think the tight end is already in there for a wide receiver position, Jimmy Graham, Devontae Adams, Antonio Brown. So if the Hams, who have lost to, I think, 10 out of the 11 teams or 9 out of the 11 teams, last week. And I think they're at the point where they really need big performances out of Breeze, Johnson, and Antonio Brown. Chances are they'll get big performances of it, at least two of them.
Yep.
But if not, I think it opens the door for Richie a little bit.
I'm going to stick with the Lizards. That's what I predicted as a one of the guests of the Commissioner Report last week. So I'll stick with the Lizards. I think Olsen scores a TD, maybe two. I think Cam Newton has a real big game against Washington. I think that's going to be high scoring. Breeze has struggled. I'm going to go with the Lizards.
It's not the Lizards definitely have some good matchups in place here. Yeah, Breeze going to Arizona is no picnic. Who knows? David Johnson, of course, has been awesome, and he gets to play New Orleans, which is nice. Jimmy Graham on Thursday night. Who knows how he does? The Lizards are not. The Lizards have a good shot here, but I think I have to pick the Hams.
If we end up with Giant Killers Lizards again, I mean, that's
so much excitement for that, right? Come on.
I know.
Who doesn't want to see that?
I don't. Right here. I do not want to see that.
So the Lizards are going to keep us in suspense.
He's a Killers fan now.
No, I get it. The K-Wheels are probably the fourth betting choice in this Final Four of being able to get this done, and I'm okay with that. We're gonna put some good things together here this week, and we're gonna put Birdo to an end. That's I will do everything I can to make that happen.
The age-old no respect card.
That's right. I got none of it. Let's go. I got nothing to lose.
All right, so this game is going to come down to Monday night. Lizards, especially Cam Newton. The Hams looks like you're going to have Dustin Hopkins kicking on Monday night. Greg Olsen, obviously, for the Lizards. Mike Evans going on Sunday night for the Lizards. So this one's not going to be settled for a while. I've said it all along. I just don't think the running backs are quite there for the Lizards. Jordan Howard has been running very well. Hightower doesn't get a ton of touches. Greg Olson's a fine tight end, but the upside there is kind of limited. And his receivers, as Rich has noted, if those guys aren't clicking, at the same time, if he's not getting two of those guys to put up in a week, he's probably not scoring enough points to beat the Hams. So I'm going to stick with the Hams in this one.
The other wild card too. The Hams got Bilal Powell.
Yeah, I suspect Powell's got to get into this lineup. Jimmy Graham.
He's in there right now.
What's that?
He has him in as of right now. So that's a late season.
Yeah.
Find with the
he's in there. Yep.
No, Powell's in.
I was seeing three. So he took Hopkins out.
Yeah, he's got Kairos Santos in there now, and he's got and he's got Bilal Powell in there.
DeAndre Hopkins
look pretty good.
DeAndre Hopkins has become just like Allen Robinson. I mean, they're great receivers who are just worthless because of the quarterbacks throwing them.
Yeah, bad quarterback.
All right, so there was one other topic I wanted to make sure we talked about. Going back to the Giant Killers a little bit. Damn it, the Boba Fatts, we have not blasted them enough for this. Trading Matt Ryan to the Giant Killers. It probably cost the Boba Fatts a playoff spot. It cost the Aliens a playoff win. And it might be just enough for the Giant Killers to create the 60, 65 points they need to squeak by in a couple games in the playoffs, find themselves in the Pac Bowl again, where anything can happen. And if they win we'll get – in fact, let's answer our trivia question right now. Let's answer our trivia question. 3 times in the past 5 years, the Giant Killers have averaged over 70 points a week, and they have earned their 3 Pac Bowl titles. This year, this team that suddenly finds itself on the verge of another Pac Bowl game, how many times have they gone over 70 points all year long in 14 games?
Twice.
3.
All right, all three of you get a point tonight. The answer is 2.
Wow.
So you could be within 1.
All right. Well, then that brings our updated standings. Not very much more exciting. Chief is still running away with this. He has 19 points. Berto now is up to 14 points. Hank is up to 13 points, and the guest is Ben at 10 points overall.
So twice all season long, this team has eclipsed 70 points, and yeah, credit to Berto for managing enough victories through that to get himself where he is right now. But damn it, Boba Fats! If
What'd they get? What was that trade? Can we get a rundown?
I highlighted a couple trades before this webcast in case we want to talk about some of them.
Go on a rant,
Please, Chief.
I'm not. Here's before I get into that. My question is, I've been associated with this league now for 15 years or so. In that time, the Aliens have never won a Pact Bowl. So what's different? I never remember a rant like this coming from the Aliens. I never remember such anger at being eliminated from the playoffs before. Why is this year different than all those other years you didn't win?
I think we had I think I've probably been pissed before, but this team started strong. We had the second highest scoring team, and I think I felt I'm not talking about the Aliens, right? I don't care about the Aliens right now. No. The Giant Killers are the issue right now. That's why. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the Giant Killers about to run away with their 4th straight.
Maybe it's because you helped me get in the playoffs.
Maybe.
Well, don't forget that part.
That trade, just because I have it in front of me, Matt Ryan and a 12th round pick for
Matt Ryan, a former
Alien, and a 2nd round pick in 2018.
Say that again.
So essentially, it's Matt Ryan for a 2nd round pick in 2018.
In 2018.
Right.
That's a horrible trade. Oh.
No, why? I mentioned this in the commissioner report before. Why is it a horrible trade?
Because you're getting nothing of value for 24 months on your investment. That you're giving up a top 10 quarterback for
top three.
Fine, top 3, top 5. Pick your top number, but not only you're giving him to the team that has won 3 years in a row at a discount, at a very low value pick.
And I think that's really a thing. The fact that it was Berto.
Yes, it is.
The fact that if he made this trade with any other owner, he would have gotten blasted nearly as much as he did. The fact was, he wasn't starting Ryan.
Yeah.
Whether he should have or not was different. He has more confidence in Stafford. He had Wentz as his quarterback as the future. And to pick up a 2nd round pick for somebody he's not going to use, I think it's a pretty shrewd deal. Could he have held out for more? Yeah, maybe. Like I said, looking back, I think all trades here from 2014. Every time a starting QB's been traded during the season, it's been for a 2nd round pick.
Josh Freeman.
That was a 4th, I think.
Phillip Rivers,
Donovan McNabb.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, you gotta know Berto makes great trades, and you got to be careful. Right? And you also take Berto out of the equation. You also have to just identify that this was a team that you'd be competing with for a wild card spot,
and was a little bit desperate.
Yeah. I'm not saying he didn't get good value. I'm just saying maybe that trade, that trade shouldn't have been made.
The reason why, and honestly, the reason why I approached him was due to the fact that he had Wentz. And he had a guy who he was starting in Stafford, who has been his guy there. So I don't know.
But speaking of the Giant Killers, let's run by this trade, who I also have right in front of me. And we've talked about this. We'll talk about it again. Slippery Beavers trade Derek Carr and a 1st round pick for Isaiah Crowe on a 1st round pick. I think it was about a three spot swap in the 1st round. For Carr and Crowell.
No, it's 6.
And 6. That's right.
6-spot jump up. He gets to jump up 6 spots in the 1st round. The players are irrelevant.
Well, they're not relevant though, because Burrow then didn't keep Derek Carr.
Yeah, I blew it.
where the Beavers kept Isaiah Crowell, who looked really good throughout week 5 or so. And the Beavers got a better player at number 12 than Berto got at number 6.
Yep. Yeah, I totally screwed up. Alan Hearns has done nothing for me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it just shows. But let's go through the August 31st trade, the quarterback trades especially. Do these still look like a good trade now, knowing what we know? Lizards trade Andrew Luck and late picks for Greg Olson, a first, 4th, and a 5th. I think making the trade, I never thought I'd be drafting the top 4. But, I think that's a good trade. I was just looking at the results, especially Stick, talking about your 1-point quarterback performance. And I think it kind of drives home the point. It's impossible to win without good quarterbacking in the playoffs. You're not going to win 2 or 3 games against good competition with a shitty quarterback. And even when Berto won last year, Ryan Fitzpatrick was putting up some good numbers last year.
Great numbers.
He was a better than average quarterback this year.
Yep.
This year he's obviously not. So I'm okay with that one. Okay, Aliens trade Carson Palmer, Michael Floyd, and a 6th-round pick for a 2nd from the Wheels. I love that pick for the Aliens at the time. I don't think anything's changed.
Yep.
And we ended up getting Ben Roethlisberger with that pick.
Yep.
Dirt Devils trade Drew Brees at 13th to the Hams. Frank Gore, James White in a 2nd.
Hated that trade.
I hate that trade because I'm competing with the Devils, but for what we thought the Devils were going to be doing, which is rebuilding.
Yeah, but we talked about this when they got old guys.
Yeah, and a 2nd-round pick and some guys that could start for this year.
Yeah.
That was a terrible trade for Nick. In the
That
long
was a
term.
very good trade.
Yeah, well, as it turned out, if Nick held on to – I can't say that either because Cousins has been – and Mariota have been really decent players there. So I think that's the other part of that in play for the Devils is they were able to trade and keep for Kirk Cousins. And it looks like a pretty good move. In fact, that's the next one on the list. Aliens trade Kirk Cousins, Justin Forsett for a 2nd-round pick for the Devils. Clearly, Aliens did great on that one, too.
And that'll be a future – that's a 2017 2nd-round pick. Then.
Right. The Aliens won the offseason.
I had – yeah.
2 more. Guys, so 2 more I'd like to mention. If you want to talk about them, that's fine. In-season trades, heading towards the trade deadline. Mongols trade Tevin Coleman to the Hams for a 1st in 2017. We all knew the Mongols had to trade one of their Falcon running backs. I was actually thinking about putting in an offer for Coleman myself, but the Hams beat me to it.
I was close on a deal for Freeman, but we didn't do it.
Senators trade a free agent pickup, Tim Hightower, to the Lizards for a 4th. A very Senators type move. Use the FA pick and flip it to somebody better than you are. So it's just fun to look back at some trades and might impact the rest of the playoffs. See how they look with the benefit of hindsight.
I bungled the whole Carr thing. I mean, obviously, hindsight, but oh my God, he's on the Wheels now. He could haunt me for years, number 1. I didn't hold him, number 2. I traded up and drafted Alan Hearns. It's nothing good about this. I passed on Jay Ajayi when I had Foster, and honestly, that pick, again, in hindsight, would have made sense because I had keeping Foster. Take the young guy in Miami. So that's like a quadruple fuck up on that.
Let's go one more.
Situation. Other than the initial trade of moving up for Crowell was a good move. Everything else after that I effed up.
And then you missed out on the run of quarterbacks.
Yes.
You were the last person to pull a starter out of there. Annual number 12 starting QB Eli Manning.
Well, and Eli's been fine.
Sure.
And kudos to Berto for picking Dak Prescott. And damn it, Boba Fett for giving him Matt Ryan. I mean, how many times did we just outline how many ways the Giant Killers fucked up their quarterback situation, and the Boba Fett's serve them a solution on a silver platter.
This is good. I'm getting great karma here off Berto's bad season, and I love the idea of Derek Carr being this haunting figure over the Giant Killers franchise. Let's go, Derek Carr! Come on.
Enough about the Boba Fett. You had a chance to knock the Giant Killers out of the playoffs, and you didn't do it. Now you got another chance.
I know. Look, I did. They put up 94 points on me in week 13. I mean, yes, I have a chance this week to do it, and that's all I could ask for. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's see what we can do here.
66-65 Killers.
That would really hurt.
With a Pierre Garçon TD Monday night.
That's before the home field advantage, right?
There you go.
No.
I think if that happens, I don't think we're having a webcast next week.
No.
I will be in I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah.
Berto, real quick, at the risk of causing great pain to myself, did you have – I mean, I'll tell you, in the middle of the second quarter on Monday night, I was feeling really optimistic.
Yeah, no, I was pacing for sure. When was that interception? When was Brady's interception?
That was 3 minutes to go or something in the first half.
Okay. So kind of after that, I said, okay.
Yeah, that was a killer.
I mean, that was a huge, huge turnaround.
I didn't even get 3 points there.
Right. Or one, for that matter. So I think kind of after that, right up until that point, I was like, oh, shit, I think I'm going to lose this.
Yeah.
And then when that interception happened, and then Baltimore had a decent drive. Not their first drive of the third quarter, but maybe their second drive of the third quarter was pretty decent. And I said, okay, I think I'm in pretty good shape. But Terrence West not being in that game at all was like, because he was 50-50 with Dixon up until that game. But I can't even play him this week because of that game.
Yeah,
Boy, Dixon looks good.
Yeah, Dixon
looks hard runner. Hopefully, he's not a hard injury-prone runner going forward.
But to answer your question, yes, I was very nervous in the first half for sure.
I was telling Hank all day, 2 touchdowns from LeGarrette Blount is what I need, and if I can get one early, then it's going to be a fun game to watch.
And Stick, you really would have started Dak over Ryan?
No.
Even get the Giants?
Eli.
You would have started Eli. Okay.
I didn't look at it too carefully, but I just sort of figured same thing I saw with Osweiler. I mean, Osweiler has weapons. You got to think DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller are going to catch 2 touchdowns in a game. Eli, has Beckham and Shepard, and figured they'd have to be playing catch up against Dallas. Again, just looking for at least 2 touchdowns, 15 points. Eli to me seemed like a pretty safe play there. But you made the right call. So one thing, Chief, you brought up, I just can't let it get by me here. We'll talk more about it during an off-season webcast. But I think one of the big stories in the off-season is going to be the Dirt Devils. You look at Kirk Cousins and you think, yeah, nice job. That could be your keeper quarterback. He's got Marcus Mariota as well. I haven't stopped and stared at them too closely, but that's got to be a big debate for Nick and for us to talk about.
There will be some good quarterbacks on the market.
Once again,
who might be frustrated with their guy, choking in a bad moment, or getting younger, or an upgrade. There's quite a few owners with tradable quarterbacks. I was actually going to go to, if we had time or if we had lack of a better thing, an early keeper forecast. There's going to be some tough decisions out there.
I usually wait no more than 24 hours after getting eliminated to start crafting my keeper forecast for the year ahead. But I'm still in a little bit of mourning right now. But yeah, in the next week or so, I'll have those.
You know what? I did mine. I should have circulated it. We'd have something to talk about.
We'll be doing some off-season webcasts not too far from now. But at the moment, we're focusing on 2 big games this weekend. We got the Pac Bowl that we'll be talking about next week, heading into Christmas weekend. So lots of gifts for all of us over the weeks ahead. Hank, Berto, good luck.
One of us is going to be in it, Berto. It's going to be one of us next week.
Johnny from New Jersey texted me and he said, you have the wheels? Nice. Biggest rivalry in sports. Killers wheels.
You know, there might be some debate to be had about that grand statement, but hey, in this league right now, there is no one I would rather beat than the Killers. No one.
It's fun to go against the wheels.
Man, I want to win. Come on, K-Wheels, let's go. All
right, get your reserve lineups in, guys. Chief, any other? There can't be any other reminders, are there?
No, no reminders.
Get your reserve lineups in. That actually was almost close to deciding one or more games this weekend.
Yeah, it's true.
It's happening though. Yeah, it's happened.
Have we gone to reserve lineups?
I don't know. I assume we have at least once.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember it happening, but maybe
we have. But the game's been settled. The 3-point home advantage.
Right.
Where I was going with that.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, good. Hey, good luck, guys. I'm sorry that one of you is going to be feeling like I am right now at this point next week, but one of you will be going to the Pac Bowl. We'll be talking to you next week. We'll try to get your opponent on as well. Actually, both Rich and Michael are frequent guests, so I don't think we'll have a problem with that. Good luck. Happy holidays, everybody. And we'll see you next week. Take care.
I'm coming, Berto. We're coming.
Go Wheels.